Hey guys, GlycerFan44 here, aka Glycermania here, coming back at y'all with another wrestling video today. And we're going to be talking about Pentagon Jr. and how WWE debuted Pentagon Jr. And by the way, this is all my opinion, so if you don't want to hear my rubbish opinion, I recommend clicking off this video and go watching somebody else's opinion that you agree on, or just click off this video and make your own video about your own wrestling opinions. So, yeah. So we're gonna go through Pentagon Jr.'s debut head to toe and what WWE did right. And I think what WWE did right, they debuted Pentagon Jr. in his city. Well, it's not really his city, but in a city that people are familiar with. Like people from California, people from Los Angeles know who Pentagon Jr. is because Pentagon Jr. before he went to AEW and before he was in any other big promotion, he wrestled in a lot of indie shows around the California area, from places like San Jose to Los Angeles to San Francisco, etc., etc. And I think it was perfect debuting him in San Jose because you had some of the diehard and some of the casual wrestling fans that went to the WWE show, and then when he debuted in the WWE show, people were popping. The pops were kind of higher than you expected. Like when you see somebody like Jacob Fatu who debuted in 2024, like Jacob Fatu, he got pops, but his pops weren't as high as Pentagon Jr. And I was actually genuinely kind of surprised, but I wasn't really at the same time that Pentagon Jr. got a big pop. And I think that's good if you want to debut like a big, like let's just say if you want to debut somebody who's like really really good on the independent circuit and they're like a big deal to your company, then debut them in your hometown city and debut them in a city where they're over. Debut them in a city where a lot of people know them because they wrestled in that city or like all that stuff. And I think that they did good with Pentagon Jr., given that Pentagon Jr. it wrestled all over the independent circuit before coming to WWE. And then we're going to talk about the way they debuted him. The way they debuted him as a mystery luchador against Chad Gable was a genius idea. I think it was very genius. He didn't debut as one of Santos Escobar's new lackeys slash new teammates. He didn't debut as Rey Mysterio's new partner in the LWO. Like he debuted in by himself as a solo single star against a prominent WWE star in Chad Gable. And when he debuted, like yeah, the theme song sucked, but like he looked like $1,000,000. He looked like he was ready to take it all. He looked like nothing changed of him. Like it looked like nothing has changed from the Pentagon Jr. we saw on the independent circuit, Lucha Undergrounds, and AEW. Like I think WWE did a good job of keeping Pentagon Jr. how he was on the indies and in other companies. And I think the way they debuted Pentagon Jr. in the match with Chad Gable, that match was actually a pretty solid match. Like Pentagon Jr. was able to showcase what he's known for. Pentagon Jr. was able to showcase like what he does in the ring to the mainstream WWE audience. Like that is something that they should do for like a lot of top indie stars. When they debut them in a city where people are familiar with you, and then like let them cut a speech. Depends on what type of character they're playing and what type of role they're in, or just like let them soak in that moment. And I like how WWE let Pentagon Jr. soak in the moment after the match with Chad Gable. You had people cheering for him. Like, yes, I know Pentagon Jr. is not really a promo guy because he doesn't really speak English, but overall, I thought the promo was actually great. Like he was thanking people, he was thanking a lot of his diehard fans in San Jose and all over the world. He was thanking the WWE universe who witnessed him wrestle his first match in WWE against Chad Gable. And he was thanking everybody. And I like that. Like, yeah, the promo was rubbish. I mean, not rubbish. Sorry, I'm not rubbish. Yeah, the promo was, like, not the best, but it actually had a meaning. And the meaning was that Pentagon Jr. was always a big star. Pentagon Jr. doesn't really need well, not doesn't really need WWE, but Pentagon Jr. was known before WWE. And like one thing I hope they do with Pentagon Jr., I hope they keep up that momentum of Pentagon Jr. going forward in the rest of his time in WWE. I don't know what they're gonna do with him after his debut, like in the next Monday Night Raw or the next coming episodes of the WWE Netflix era. But whatever they're gonna do with him, make him a threat. Make him a credible threat. Like I've seen this guy wrestle in Lucha Undergrounds. I've seen him in TNA, and I've seen him in AEW. Like, yeah, this guy in AEW, I don't think Pentagon Jr. was booked bad in AEW. I just think that Pentagon Jr. was booked more as a tag person. And I think AEW was kind of at that point where it was like, yeah, they could have booked him as like a higher mid as an upper mid carder, but you obviously had so many people on that roster that just I don't know how to say it. You had so many people on the AEW roster that were just more poppin' than him. And I'm not saying Pentagon Jr. isn't poppin', but like there was like if you kind of think about it, you had more bigger stars signed to AEW at that time than when Pentagon Jr. signed to AEW. And he's an AEW original. But like yeah. Like do I think Pentagon Jr. is going to be world championship material? Um, no offense, I do not think he's going to be world championship material. I think Pentagon Jr. is going to be more of like a solid upper, maybe upper mid Carter tag team um guy when Ray Phoenix debuts in WWE. But I don't know what they're gonna do with him really, but I just hope that WWE books him right because if you're gonna hire a lot of wrestlers that are from that wrestle the lucha libre style, like Dragon Lee, and now we hired Pentagon Jr., you gotta book him right because I'm not gonna lie to you, WWE has not had a good track record when it comes to booking wrestlers that are luchadors. And you could see their track record when it came to booking Kalisto. They booked Kalisto strong, but then like later they fumbled it. They booked Grand Metalik and everybody else, but after that they became jobbers on Lucha House Party. And someone like Pentagon Jr., he needs to be booked like a threat. He needs to be booked like somebody that you can't mess with. And when they bring his brother into WWE, I think this is what they should do. They should put Pentagon Jr. on Raw, and then they should debut his brother on SmackDown. I don't think they should be a tag team, but I don't think they should be a tag team at all because if the purchase, I mean not purchase, if the purpose of Pentagon Jr. becoming a single star is supposed to be that way, you should leave Pentagon Jr. on Monday Night Raw in the mid card scene, maybe in the title scene in the future. And then Ray Phoenix should be in that same position on SmackDown. And yeah, but that's just my opinion on Pentagon Jr.'s debut. What do you guys think on Pentagon Jr.'s debut? I would like to hear it in the comment section down below. And if you guys like more wrestling content, make sure to follow for more.